Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good. It has been a little while since I've done one of these live streams, so I'm super excited. I'm joined by a very special guest, a United fan, Aekavin, and honestly, we tried to plan this for such a long time with the Euros on. It was just a little bit hectic, but it's finally really lovely to have you on today. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, and yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm just really happy to have you on. It's gonna be good to chat about Arsenal
Pleasure.
and United as
Pleasure.
well. Yeah, it's gonna be really good. And obviously, I thought we could start off with the preseason game. Literally, I was planning on watching it. I set an alarm on my phone at 1 a.m. and I literally fell asleep with the phone in my
I had to
hand.
get
Like,
that really quick. I
yeah,
had to get that. The thing is, over here in Thailand, we're around we're 6 hours ahead of the UK, but 14 hours ahead of the West Coast in
yeah.
America. So it was a bit of like a rough morning to wake up for such a game. It's on a Sunday morning as well. But you know what?
Yeah.
Things we do for football clubs.
Yeah, it's always worth it, and it's nice to
Oh,
have. It's
yeah.
nice to watch the teams again. It's like for me, I always say watching England. It's not quite watching, your club football. It's a different type of feeling watching Arsenal, watching United, and I've completely missed Arsenal. I wanted just to get your thoughts on the game because obviously I watched the highlights. I thought Arsenal, obviously, we've played a lot of our academy players as well. I know we've had the experienced players in there, but I think for me, it's great to see for Arsenal point of view some academy players, and obviously, really happy we won. Jesus, for me, I think I'm really impressed with him at the
Yeah.
moment. I think he seems in a better positive mindset and he's doing pretty good. But from a United point of view, how do you feel about the game and sort of how you've been playing so far in preseason?
I don't think we've. I think we've played all right in preseason. I wouldn't say we played amazingly in preseason. I thought because we don't have everyone back yet. Obviously,
Yeah,
we still have the academy lads here. So we've got like Toby Collier. We've got players like Rasmus Højlund. Unfortunately, picked up a knock today, so he won't be here for the next game. Maybe he might be, but he went off for a precautionary substitution. So I think that'll be that'll be one to see. What will happen in the next 24 hours? I'll hopefully find out soon. But the thing is, I've not been really impressed with United as of late. Like in preseason, I thought against Rosenborg, our academy lads they looked like they looked lost out there. They looked
yeah,
like they didn't know what to do. I know we lost the game in the last minute. It was like a fortunate deflection, like and Rosenborg
yeah.
scored a up in the last minute. But at the same time, you got to be doing better. It doesn't matter the results. The thing is, the results are not important in preseason.
Mhm.
However, still the performances need to be better. And I think for
Yeah.
me, we've not been great. And today, this morning when I watched the game, I feel like United for the first, let's say, a half an hour or so, I'd say we've been the best team.
Mhm.
I think we were the better team until Arsenal then started picking up the pace. I thought you guys have a really good player as well. I
Mhm.
think you have Ethan Waneri. That's a very good player that you have
Yeah,
there.
he's been really good to watch.
I
It's
think
yeah.
I've been very happy with Toby Collier as a United fan. I've not been impressed with the overall performance, like I said, but
Mm.
that hopefully we'll see some more players come back for Liverpool game, and
Yeah.
if we can get some, or also the Betis game on Wednesday night for America. But if we can get some more players back, and hopefully then Euro doesn't get uh
Yeah.
out for too long. Hopefully he's all right. Because the thing is, we had two injuries this morning. I'm not saying that's an excuse as to why we lost. I don't think we were good enough, anyways.
Yeah.
However, I just think the with the quality Arsenal have, I think the quality you had off the bench today. With obviously you got Martinelli off the bench, who obviously scored a good
Yeah.
goal. I think that's where I think Arsenal are just better, much better than United. It's the depth It's the depth, and you've got also the quality. In every department, you guys are just much better than us. I have to hold my hands up. But we have to be doing better. I'm sorry.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
performance was poor, and I think we can do much better than what we did today.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched sort of the highlights as well, you did, like you said, the first half, you did look promising. You had a lot of chances, and especially
There's a
your
nice goal.
first goal. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
ball
thought
from
you did
Rashford.
good. Yeah,
The ball from Rashford to Hoyland was good, but yeah,
yeah,
the first 30 minutes was all right, I'd say. But then again, you gotta be good for the whole 90 minutes. Otherwise, you just don't win the game.
Yeah,
You don't win the
definitely.
game.
I mean, yeah. I think I'm with you. Like, I think results wise, like if we drew or if we lose, I'd rather us
Yeah,
win. But it's not like massive. I think, like you said,
yeah,
it's the performances you want to see from the team. Are you ready going to the season? Because there are players at your club, someone like Rashford. That
yeah.
obviously I thought he did. I thought he did good in moments, but I know for the season, fans have been quite harsh on him. So I think it's good to see
I
kind
wouldn't.
of.
Sorry, continue what you're saying.
No, yeah, I think it's good to see players get those chances, but I think with Rashford, it's a very difficult one because I don't I think you should move on from him,
I
but
agree with
I
you.
know for him as well, the criticism he's faced, he's probably struggles with that as well. So it's quite strange really what's gonna happen there. Do you think with Rashford you're gonna sell him or this
I,
summer?
to be honest with you, I've been done with Marcus Rashford for a long time.
Yeah.
I think he's been one of those players where he's really gotten on my nerve because
Mm,
one season he's like exceptional, one season he's unbelievable, and then the next season he just goes down another level. Like
yeah.
last season, what was that? Like he was just playing for a new contract the year before. He got a new contract, and after he got his new contract, he dropped levels. And I just think, yeah, if you're right about it, I think it's time to move on. Honestly,
Yeah.
I genuinely I think Rashford can be a good player at another club. I think he do well at another club, but if this is what he's gonna do, if he's gonna come and like drop another stinker again, then what's the point of keeping him? And you would PSG offer you 50 million, you just let him go because
Yeah, yeah,
you
I
don't get money from him anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's probably a bit he's too inconsistent, like you said, because
Yeah,
one he could start the season off really well and then he'll just
people.
drop off and look quite
Yeah,
average. It's a tough one
people.
really with
They,
him.
the thing is, people they blame injuries, right? But at the same
Mm,
time, everyone gets injured and everyone gets
mm,
criticism. If you can't deal with criticism, you shouldn't be playing football. It's
yeah.
simple as if you every footballer has to deal with criticism. Every player in the world will have some criticism coming from somewhere.
Hmm.
But if you can't take it on the chin and move on, then your mentality isn't right to play football. That's
Yeah,
just
I,
what
th- I think there's a difference, like you said, criticism and abuse. That's a different thing.
yeah, completely
Um,
different.
but with criticism, I think when you're a footballer, no matter kind of what level you play for, if you're not playing how you up to the
Yeah,
standard, you will get criticised, especially if you're playing for a team, like Arsenal, United, Liverpool, like
yeah,
a big club, you will get criticised. And I think he struggled with that. But like you said, I'm with you. I see a good player in him. But I also think at United next season, I mean,
move on.
if he does stay, he has to improve a lot
Yeah,
more
show.
than what he's
He has
sort
to
of
show.
doing.
He has to show nothing of what he showed last season. If he shows more of what he showed last season, then I'd bin him off like in January.
Yeah.
I would even hesitate because if I'm Sir Jim Ratcliffe, right, and I'm Ineos right now, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, okay, which player has been here for a long time and we really need to get off our team because they have not been up
Mm.
to standard. I look at Rashford. I look at players like Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford. These two players, yes, they're homegrown players, but
Mm.
that does not mean that they're not good enough. That doesn't mean that they're, how do you say, at the level of at the
Yeah.
level of what we expect. I think they're below average for me. I think it's time to move on
Mm.
from a lot of players because we still have a lot of players that we need to get out of our football club. Like for me,
Mm.
I'm seeing a lot of players like Lindelof still at the club. You still have Luke Shaw still at the club. You still got Maguire at the club. You've got Anthony, who yes, he came in 2 years ago, but has not shown anything for me.
Mm.
You've got players like what's his name? You have players. I mean, Martial's gone. I rated Martial. I think he was a good player, but
Yeah, I liked him.
he was
Yeah.
he was never really available. You've also got players like uh, Johnny Evans. I mean, to be fair with you, the experience that he brings,
Mm.
is crucial, but is he should be at Manchester United in 2024? I'm sorry, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 35 now. I mean, I would keep him at the club for a year. I would probably I'd probably say I'd probably bring him as a coach next year. I probably make him a coach next year if I was Ten Hag. I'd probably be like John Evans. You come to United, be a coach. Be after you retire, you can retire next year and join the coaching staff. Because for me, he's an experienced centre back. He's come from our academy. Yes, he went on to Leicester, West Brom, and all those teams. But he's won the Prem. Let's not forget he how many league titles has he won with United? He's won ever since he broke into the team. He's been
Mm.
I wouldn't say he's been average. I think he's been a good player, but he's not. It's not the right time to be at United, in my opinion. I think he should be somewhere else. We've got a lot of dead wood at the club still lurking at the club, and I think we need to move a lot of them on. Ericsson's one of them as well. I think Ericsson's a good player, but he's not United quality.
What do you make of McTominay? There's a question here about Ten Hag sees him as one of the first names on the team sheet.
Look, when McTominay first came in 2018, 2017, 2018, I remember his first game, his Champions League debut was against Sevilla away. I thought he was exceptional that day.
Mm.
But now I just think he's not good enough again, and he's another one that's not good enough for me, because we have a lot of players that have not been good enough for a long
Mm.
time, getting away with it because we've had individual brilliances
Mm.
papering over the cracks of poor performances for a long time. These players get away with it, and for me, I think United need a lot of work. And if you
Yeah,
want to a lot of good players, bring them in now, because we have 2 more preseason games left. And then we've got the Community Shield against Manchester City, then the season opener. We kick up the season on a Friday night. We're the first team to kick off the season, so we need to get those players.
yeah,
We need to get players like
quickly, yeah,
we need to get players like Delict in. We need to get players like what's we need a fullback. We need a lot of good players. We need Ugarte in. We need players in by the start of the season. We need more than what we have now. I'm happy with our signings. I think they're
hmm
good signings, but I feel like we need more, because depth is very important. And the Europa League now has a new format as well, with the 10-game thing, or is it
yeah,
the eight? Not sure. Is it 8 or 10? Eight games or something? 8 games, but you now have like a league structure. That's gonna add on more games going into January with the Christmas period and December period, where you've got those festive games. They're all jumbled in together. Then that's where everything starts to fall apart with the fitness. And
mm,
then in January, the Europe. Let's not forget this year, the Champions League will be played in January. The Europa League will be played in January as well. They won't have a break anymore. So it's important to get these players in. It's important to get the depth in.
hmm
It, it's not like, you know obviously. Sorry, what was I going to say again? I was going to say, like I said, depth is important, and we need to get these players in ASAP. So
yeah,
this is where I look at United and I'm like, okay, you've got these players. What are you going to do with them now?
yeah,
You give them a proper role at the club, because they can't be starting every single game for me.
yeah.
A lot of people moved on.
I think you've got to be ruthless now with the players that you need to get rid of. Like Arsenal went through that phase. I mean, if you would have told me back then that Pepe, Bamiyang, like I said, I was fine with him leaving in the end. But like, if sometimes you do have to get rid of players that you might have thought would be here for a while, or sometimes you just got to be ruthless because you look at Arsenal. I remember our defence when Arteta was here to now. You've just got to. I think United need to be ruthless now if they really need to.
I agree.
They need to have a big season and they need to just yeah.
Ineos need to start working right now. I know they brought in 2 good signings, but like I said, they're not enough. And I
Mhm.
think Arsenal have done very well in that department as well. I know you still got a lot of
Mhm.
players you need to move
Yeah.
on. I'm seeing you're selling Smith Rowe to Fulham.
Mm.
That's I think for me, Smith Rowe is one of those players where I actually thought he was a good player, but
Yeah.
then his injury really derailed him, and I feel like, I think going to Fulham might be a good place where you get a lot
Yeah.
of games. Because I think that's where I think he gets into Fulham's team right now. I personally think he gets into Fulham's team, and
Mm.
obviously you've got I think you got Nketiah. What do you think you do with Nketiah? I think Nketiah is not good enough. Personally,
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think you should have sold Balogun. I think Balogun was one of those players that you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, did he want to stay and be like a backup? I don't think so. And also with the Pepe thing, I thought Pepe was actually a good player for Arsenal.
Mm.
I don't think he was bad. I just didn't think Arteta liked him, and I don't understand why. I think Pepe was not a bad signing for Arsenal in the end of the day.
Yeah, I think he was too inconsistent. The problem I have is on his day he was absolutely incredible. Especially in our FA Cup run and just in general, like the
The
league.
fact
Yeah,
the fact that he managed to beat a lot of clubs to sign him was also very impressive as well at the time because Arsenal weren't.
yeah, we
I'm
weren't really doing great.
not,
Yeah,
not taking Arsenal, but they weren't. They were around. They were around mid. They were
yeah,
mid. So the fact that you beat him to a lot of signings, the fact that you beat a lot of clubs to the signing was a good thing. Um, and I think Arsenal should. And I think next year Arsenal need to still bring in a few more players, and I think you will be challenging for the league again next year.
yeah. I know Nketiah has been linked to Marseille, and honestly, like I think the problem with him going is Arsenal want 50 million for him, and honestly, we're
That's
not
too much.
getting that. Um,
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
30,
he's worth that personally.
I think you could get 30 for him though, but
Yeah,
30, but something add-ons to 30, not 30 million
yeah.
plus add-ons. It'll be a total 30 million
Mm.
package. I think it'll be.
I think like yeah, he has done a lot of good for us, especially when we were trying to win the league and when Jesus got injured. But you're not going to get 15 million for him. I know Arsenal want to get as much money so we can bring in other players, but I'd take 30-35 million. I think that's good for him.
Yeah,
I mean, I know for him he's got to go personally, like for his career as well. He is young. He can have a good career somewhere else, whether that's in the Premier League abroad. I think he's good enough for a Premier League team, but I think with Arsenal, like I think for a top four, top six team, I think he won't able to deliver consistently. Yeah.
and I think one thing as well. I think you need to move on Zinchenko.
Oh
I
yeah,
pers
definitely.
I
I've said
I
that so
personally
many
I
times.
personally don't think Zinchenko is a good enough player for Arsenal. I've seen it around 2 years ago when I remember the home game. I remember the City game when you
Mm.
guys played Manchester City at the Emirates when you lost 3-1. Zinchenko was one of the players that really, really like stunk the place out. Like he was that
Yeah.
one that was like he gave the ball away. He get the Grealish goal. I think you're talking about the Grealish goal. I think that was on Zinchenko.
Yeah. He's defensively, he's quite bad.
Defensive,
Like I
he's
always
not.
say, he's a liability defensively because so many times he's just, he's not good there. Yeah, a lot. Do you know what? I speak to a lot of fans, and I always ask them about him, and a lot of there are fans that do want him to stay, but I think for me, I think we've kind of outgrown him now. I think at the time when we signed him, he was
Yeah,
probably our best player or one of our most important players, but now he just doesn't fit in this team, especially with Calafiori coming in. He
it
just wouldn't start.
for me it was the Manchester City tax. That's why he got into the
Yeah.
team. It's not because of the level of him. It's because of the fact that he came from Man City. So the fact that Arsenal fans were like, "Oh, he has to start because he came from Man City." That's the same thing applies to Jesus. Jesus didn't have a great season last season,
Mm.
however. Now, but after what I saw today, he looks lively again.
Yeah.
I still think you need a new striker. And the Calafiori signing, I've not watched much of him, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. So, do you play him left back and play Gabriel
Mm.
Saliba and White, or do you play Timber and then you bring Calafiori off the bench, or you play
That
Calafiori instead
yeah,
of
that's the thing because I really like Timber a lot. I
yeah,
know
it's actually
he's
good.
had his big injury, but I knew before that, and I've seen the games. He will be amazing. I think at this moment in time, I'd probably stick with Timber left back and ease Calafiori in, especially the
Yeah,
preseason games. I would love to see Calafiori play. I want to see what he'll be like, but I suppose it's good competition as
it was
well to have
a
that
shame.
depth.
Yeah, it was such a shame that Timber had to pick up that injury so early on in the
I
season,
know.
especially when you guys were cruising, being 2-0 up, and then he looked a bit like he was like that guy. But at the same time, you're like, is he like he plays very similar to Saliba in a way, very
Yeah.
very similar to Saliba in a way. But he was starting at right back, and then or was it right back, or I don't remember. He played first game against Nottingham Forest when you guys won 2-1. I remember that. I remember you played Timber, but was he a right back?
Do you know, I can't remember now if we played. I think it might have been left back. I can't fully remember now. I do remember that game though because
But yeah,
I
the
I
injury
knew when
was
he went down. I was like, oh no, it looked quite bad at the time.
yeah. But at least now he's back, so you'll see you see how much you can get out of him. I mean, I think Timber still has a lot to offer for Arsenal, and trust me, you've
Yeah,
you've, you've got a good player in your hands. But at the same time, um, you better hope he doesn't pick up more and more injuries now because
yeah,
that
that's the
because what
thing.
do you do? What do you Tomiyasu? You have a player like Tomiyasu at right back. You have a player like Ben White at right back.
Mm.
You've also got Thomas Partey, who for me shouldn't be playing right back, but has been playing there since
Yeah, I
like
hate when he plays it right back.
yeah, he
I'd
should
rather
be.
Saka play there,
Trust
honestly.
me, Saka would be a much better right back than Thomas Partey. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
it
the
just
Tom,
doesn't work with Party at right back. It's just
yeah, he a bit too injury prone at the same time? Thomas
yeah.
Partey.
Do you know with Party? I'm quite 50-50 because on his day, he is incredible when he's up there
Yeah,
for, at the moment with the top midfielders. But sometimes, especially when he's having a bad game, he's very like he's either really good or really bad as well. And there is
yeah,
injuries are with him, so I think
inconsistency.
it depends who the replacement was as well. I mean, I think it'd be hard to replace Partey on his day as well, but I think the injury is
Let me see.
ridiculous. Like he gets injured for like half a season, and I'm like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So you lagged out of there a little bit before you
Oh yeah,
said.
sorry. No, yeah, I
I
was
know,
just saying that Partey's injuries, like his record has been really poor. I mean, I'm not saying it's obviously not his fault. These things
yeah,
happen. You're seeing it with Smith Rowe. I hope with Smith Rowe as well that he won't have like a Jack Wilshere type of career where he does really well and then he gets those injuries and it sort of
oh yeah.
stops him. That's what my worry is about him a little bit. But with Partey, like I'm open for him to go, but I'm also open for him to maybe end his contract. Like his contract ends, I think he's got a year left, so I reckon Arteta would just run it out maybe.
Would you rather get some money for him now, or would you rather maybe sign it and then move him on? So like sign a contract and then move him on with a bigger price.
Yeah, I think I'd rather. I mean, the money thing. I don't like know how much he'd be worth now.
Yeah.
I know Saudi teams. I'm pretty sure have been interested before. And I wouldn't mind him going there. But the money thing's difficult because, oh yeah, someone says contract. Yeah, 2025. Yeah, I thought
Uh.
so.
So yeah, you got
But
a year.
yeah, so it's like how much money we're gonna get for him because we look at him as well. He is very
His wage
injury. Yeah.
his wages are quite high as well, considering where he came from, Atletico Madrid as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the time when we signed him, like I was so excited because I'd watched him for a while, but um, I think, I think in a way he has lived up to some expectations because he has been very good in games, but
Yeah.
I think the injury side of it, none of us really would have expected.
I think you guys losing him in that title run in 2022,
Oh,
2020
yeah.
was massive. Him and Saliba were the two players that you guys needed
Mhm.
to win the title. If you had those two players, I think you'd won the league. And I think
Yeah.
and that for me that should have been converted for me. The 8 point lead should have been converted. And I say for the same about Man United in 2012. So if anyone wants to come at me for that, well, about Man, Arsenal bottling and Man, I also agree United should not bottle in 2012. So
Mm, mm.
I'm fair. I'm fair about this. So
Yeah.
both teams should not have bottled it.
Yeah, I definitely think Saliba, I think if he was fit, it would have made a difference. Because you've seen how incredible he's been. I mean, when he came
He's
back
the
off loan,
best
I
in the world.
didn't expect too much of him because I didn't want to get overexcited. Because I know, I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans do that when we sign players. So
I know.
I always I always
Twitter.
like reserve judgments, and then when they've played a bit, I'm like, okay, like maybe they've done better than what I thought. So yeah,
You're more cautious with you're more cautious with your view on a player rather than get over the top about whether you're gonna get over the top about somebody who's like, oh, he's the next this, he's the next that, because that's what a lot of fans do nowadays. You know what I mean? They give players like the next
yeah, they
on.
can like overhype players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I'm
hype.
not really with that. I don't like to put like that on pressure on players because, I mean,
No, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, I mean when we signed the Conga, I'm pretty sure Vincent Company compared him. I can't remember which player he compared him to, but I just thought, like Lokonga, he's a talented player, but he didn't ever live up to kind of the expectation we thought he would. And I think by managers sort of saying like what Vincent Company sort of, I forgot which player he compared him to, but I think when you sign players as well, you've got to give them time. I mean, Vieira's another one. Um,
Yeah, I thought he at the start of last season he showed a bit of promise
yeah, he was good. Yeah, I remember
and then
watching him.
and then
Yeah.
he dropped off. And then he dropped off. I remember him scoring a couple of goals for Arsenal as well on that run. Was it the game against Fulham where he scored or something like that?
I think so. I mean,
Game that you
uh,
drew.
it might have been against you guys. Yeah, I think it was. I mean, when Jesus scored, I'm pretty sure he assisted, but he did show like really positive signs. Even if he's not, I don't mind if he doesn't like score tons of goals. If he's just helping in some sort of way. Um, yeah, it's a mystery with Vieira because like you said, we've seen them produce some good, goals or good assists, but then it sort of fades away. I mean, to be fair, I was at the Arsenal. Do you know? I think it was the Burnley game, and he got a red card, and we literally never saw him after that for like months. He got an injury as well, so he had a bit of a bad end to
Which
the
year?
season.
Which year was that?
That was
Was it
last season, I'm pretty sure.
last?
That was at
Uh,
the middle. I think that was like sort of the middle part of the
are you talking
season.
about the Fulham game where he got sent off, or was that? I think our Arsenal player got sent off, or was that
It might
some
have
other?
Oh yeah, it might have been. I went to the game. I think it was when we played Burnley at home. It might have been
Uh,
Burnley. Yeah, I think it was. He
you
got a
won
red.
that game, right?
Yeah, we won like 3-1, and he got a red card. And then since then, after this, like for the rest of the season, I think he
Season,
picked up injuries as well, and he never really became, what we saw from him um throughout the season. But I just wanted to point out this as well. This is what I was talking about. Company
Oh,
compared to Conga to Yaya Toure. I just
right.
I think yeah, I think it's very hard because when you come from a different league, you can't predict, how they're gonna do. I mean, when we signed Declan Rice, I
Yeah,
kind of knew he would be good because I'd
yeah.
seen it for
Well,
England, for West Ham.
You
But
just signed
yeah,
him you just signed him off the back of a Europa Conference League win as well. And people were
yeah,
it's a trophy at the end of the day. It's a trophy, and Declan Rice has come off the back of a trophy, win in the final with West Ham. So he owed West Ham fans something before he left, and
yeah,
I think with Arsenal he still has a long way to go. It still has a lot to prove
yeah,
because the pressure of playing for a big club like Arsenal is so
yeah,
much
it's a lot.
different to West Ham. It's massive pressure because for me I think Declan Rice is quality,
Mm,
but the way people put him in conversations with some of the greats, like for example, people say that Rice, Casemiro. I think Casemiro all time for me is much better than
mm,
Declan. However, Declan Rice at the moment he's just playing. He's
yeah,
exceptional. He is the reason why you guys bridged the gap. However, to he wasn't the reason. At the same time, you guys didn't win it, and that was
yeah,
not. You guys came ever so closer, and for me, that impact that Declan Rice had on Arsenal's team this year,
mm,
like you guys went from here to like here. I think you guys looked a lot better than last season. I
yeah,
think there was a period where I think Arsenal looked a lot worse than last season. But then when you guys started picking up form from January onwards, you lost one game. That was like that Declan Rice was pivotal in that run. And I
mm.
think and I think if Arsenal can replicate what they did last season, but even
Even
better,
better, yeah.
I personally think Arsenal will win the league. I've said this already. I said Arsenal win the league because of the team that they have. You guys have a great midfield. Defense for me best in the league. Attack
Yeah.
is the because
Yeah.
you guys do miss a lot of chances, and I think Jesus has been frustrating last season, and I think
Mm.
you guys need to sign a 20 goal season striker. You've got Calafiori as your backup now. You're about to ship Sinchenko off. That's fine. I think you guys need a striker that can score 20 goals a season. I think Isaac might be one of them, but I don't know if Newcastle will be willing to sell.
Yeah, we
Ivan
do need a
be one of them as
striker.
well. Ivan Tony is Premier League proven, or I would say he he's proven it in the Premier League that he can score a lot of goals. So I think you guys are not one signing away. I'm not saying you're one signing away from the league, but the piece that you need up front and a few quality in depth is where I think Arsenal win the league. Is
Yeah.
and I think that's where I think you guys are the best team in the league performance wise. But then if you guys drop a few points again, like you did last
Mm.
season, a couple points, like for example the Fulham game at home where you dropped 2 points to 10 men
Oh, that
Fulham.
one was bad. Yeah.
That was where you lost the league for me.
Yeah, I
It's not
agree.
against City. It's not you lost it against Man City at the Etihad. You didn't
Mm.
lose it. You dropped points against Fulham and then Villa.
Mm.
But then the City game away was where Arsenal fans took it a bit over the top because they were really happy with the draw. I don't
Yeah,
think you guys were happy with the draw.
I was that game was really bad from us, but at the end of it, I felt content with it. Like I wasn't over the moon, but I
Yeah,
wasn't upset. Like it wasn't the worst result we could have got, but a win would have been much better for us.
they would
But
have won the league,
yeah, I felt
and
okay with it. Like yeah,
That Aston Villa result would have been forgotten.
yeah, I think the Villa result, I think at the time I felt like that was the reason why, but I think I look at the Fulham game like the most because realistically we should be beating Fulham. Like Aston
Yeah,
Villa was sort of, trying to get top four and I get, that all of that. But yeah, it's so hard looking back at that. But I think I'm with you on that. I think you look at our team now, we're so close to finishing or, getting that close. But
you
I'm
were
with you. I think we need that striker.
you were
Um,
around points the year before, and then last year you finished 2 points. Can you get even better now? Go and win the league by like 90 plus points. I think Arsenal are capable enough of doing that, and I think. But also, you guys need to sign a backup goalkeeper for me, or would you promote Carl Hein or something like that? I'm
yeah,
not sure because
I
then you
think
need depth in every key area.
I think with Ramsdale, like if I'm him, I would move like clubs because he for me is good enough to be a number one for whatever team that would be. Um, I know he has a few problems, like struggling with concentration, etc. But that time we went to win the league, I thought he was excellent. He surprised me a lot. Like he was really good. So I think if we keep him, then obviously we should be okay for second choice goalkeeper. But then I suppose if Raya had a big injury and then Ramsdale, he had to take over. I do wonder how that would be because I think Ramsdale's lacking confidence. Like when I've seen him in his, the cup games he's played in, don't get me wrong, he's made some great saves, he's done good, but he's just probably not how he was before.
You've already signed him on a permanent deal, right? Am I
I'm
correct? That
pretty
was
sure we signed Ramsdale like 5 years or something like 80, like when Raya came in. I'm pretty sure. So I think he's got a few years left, Ramsdale.
yeah.
There's a one here actually. Realistically, United are only going to make one or two more signings. Which positions would you prioritize? That maybe I answer that for your club.
Go ahead. No, you can
Um,
answer that.
okay, yeah. I mean, I think for us, like we've just mentioned, really that I think the left back is definitely the one that we're going for first, which I think is the right thing to do because Kivior. I like Kivior, but I think Zinchenko, if he goes, then Tomiyasu. We've also got Tomiyasu as well. Like, we've probably got too many players in that position that we just need one or two. So, I'd probably say the striker one is one that I really want us to,
Yeah.
I'd probably say striker maybe more than midfield because I think we are doing good. You know, we've got Odegaard, we've got Rice, we've got Partey in there if he does stay. Jorginho is also quite a good player I quite like. So I think for me, we probably just need a striker. But for United, I know you have made a few signings, and I know next season, you know, I think you've got to have a good season in the league. I know you have won silverware, which is great, but what sort of positions do you think you need to improve on?
I think we have to challenge for the title
Hmm.
because this is Ten Hag's third season now, and I've been
Yeah.
very critical of Ten Hag. Trust me, I've been very critical of Eric Ten Hag last season. I
Hmm.
thought I was
Mm.
calling for his head because
Mm.
I didn't think we were going to improve because I thought everything was just getting get worse. We were getting a lot
Yeah.
worse last season. Like at the start of the season, I was like, okay, you know what? First three games, I don't mind it. If you're gonna start off bad, then end the season fine. Because United were off the back of a okay. I wouldn't say the best season because Ten Hag came and we got third. I wasn't happy with the way we ended the season because we
Mm.
lost the FA Cup final to City and they won the treble, and we lost Liverpool 7-0 after winning the League Cup. So from then the season just sort of for me just derailed. We almost bottled top four as well, which to me top four is not the be all end all for my football club. I want my football
Yeah,
club
it's
to.
not a trophy, really.
It's
Yeah.
not a trophy. You need to be challenging for league titles. I think for me, this is Eric Ten Hag's. Like for me, I'm
Mm.
gonna give this one season. If the signings that he makes are still good, but he's not getting the football, he's not playing good football,
Mm.
then sack him. Because for me,
Yeah.
if nothing gets better from now, then what was the whole point of keeping him? We gave him a 1 year contract. Uh,
Yeah.
we gave him a 1 year contract, the same salary. We just triggered the extension, and for me, I don't know. The football has not improved. Obviously, I can't judge in preseason, but at the same time, the
Yeah,
FA
it's not. Yeah.
was FA Cup final for me. I was gassed with the win. I thought on the day we were absolutely amazing. But yeah, just to answer that question, I think we'll make around three more signings. I think three more signings, and I would prioritize another defender. I
Mm.
would prioritize maybe two more midfielders because our attack, I think attack we've got a lot of depth. We've got like players like Sancho, Ahmad, Pellistri. We've got players like Hoyland, Xerxes. We've got a lot of players in attack. So I feel like defense. I feel like we need another center back, and I think we need a
Mm.
fullback and maybe another midfielder or a CDM. I keep Casemiro. I don't know.
Mm.
People are telling me we should sell Casemiro, but at the same time, if you let Casemiro go, you're losing a lot of experience. People are telling me that Casemiro is washed.
Mm.
People might think that, but at the same time, he's got the experience. Look at Chelsea; they kept Thiago Silva. They
Yeah.
won Champions League with him. They had the experience there along with them. Is it enough? No, because experience. He was the only experienced player in the team. For me, we need to keep Casemiro. I wasn't really happy with letting go of Rafael Varane because also
Yeah.
he's another experienced center back. He's another experienced player that I thought you know what we need to keep.
Mm.
And for me, like I'm gonna say this again, experience is key.
Yeah.
If you want to be winning league titles, if you want to be going far, you need to have the know-how. You need somebody who has been there, done it all. And Casemiro is one of them. He's pretty much won everything in football apart from the World Cup.
Yeah.
Casemiro is one of those
Exactly.
guys
Yeah.
you need to keep him in the squad. I would maybe bring in someone to compete with him, and I would bring in the central midfielder and another centre back. As someone, I think I'm not sure because for me, I would sell Luke Shaw and Malacia. I don't know if
Mm.
Malacia is not fit, so we need a left back.
Mm.
Right back, what are we gonna do with Aaron Bissaka? What are we gonna do with Dallo staying? What are we gonna do with Aaron Bissaka? Are we gonna sell him or are we gonna keep him? For me, I'd keep Aaron Bissaka because the options that we've got Mazraoui, we've got players like you got players like let's say what's the name Frimpong. For me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is just better for me. I just think Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I know Frimpong is cheap, 34 million. I would take that, but at the same time, I just think Wan-Bissaka is one of those players like you like.
Mm.
For me, people overlook the fact that a fullback cannot attack, can have to attack. Right? A fullback for me is the main job. The first thing to do is defend before he can attack, because he plays at the back for a reason. Yes, yes, a fullback's job is also to go forward with the ball, but the
Mm.
same defend first. And I think
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka's defensive ability is right up there. One-on-one defending, Wan-Bissaka is one of the best.
Yeah.
Like 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 he could mark anyone. But going forward is an issue. I agree. I have to say that as well. But
Yeah.
defense, he's sound, and I think that we need players that can fight that can fight for a position. Like for example, we need Lissandro
Mm.
Martin. Is he fit enough?
Mm.
Because he's been injured many times last season. So what I'm saying is we need a center back to compete with Martinez. We need a left back, and we possibly need a midfielder. So competition is very, very important. If you're going into a season, you want players fighting for their positions, because you don't want players
Yeah.
feeling comfortable in positions to be like, oh, I play week in week out. I'm comfortable here. I can drop a stinker and I won't get replaced. We need competition. We need players to
Mm.
fight for their places. That's very important in football, because you don't want players getting over the top about themselves,
Yeah.
getting too being confident. You need competition. Competition is very, very important in football.
Yeah. Having experience is actually important because someone like Arsenal a few seasons ago, David Luiz, I think we all knew he'd passed his prime, he's past his best, but he was very important for those young players, like at the time, like a Saka or a Smith Rowe. Like it's so important. They might not play all the time, they might not be the best player in their position, but having that experience will really help you, especially in the Champions League. And honestly, I want to just talk about this. Like Chelsea have not had a good
My
preseason.
my friend's a Chelsea fan. The one that commented asked me about United signings. That was my friend from Thailand. So
Oh, big
we
up yourself in the
we
chat. Yeah.
we talk football all the time. So big up to him in the chat every time. And yeah, Chelsea, for me, the direction that Chelsea are going in is very questionable, because
Yeah.
they sacked Pochettino, they hired Enzo, right? They hired Enzo. They're signing players from nowhere, out of nowhere. They're probably talents, but they're signing players out of nowhere. Like, because the direction that Chelsea are going is just very, very confusing. You just keep on sacking managers, sacking.
Yeah.
I agree, Pochettino should have been sacked anyways because he didn't win anything in
Yeah.
Chelsea. However, to sack him for Enzo is a bit like, it's very, very confusing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Chelsea in a mess, and I just think there's just no direction with the ownership as
Yeah.
well. They don't know which direction they want to go in. Do they want to go on a youth project route? Do they want to go on a world class route? Because they spent 130 million on Enzo.
Yeah.
I say though, that's a good midfield. That's a decent enough midfield to probably get you into a decent position in the league, right? But then again, like you let players like Kai Havertz go, who I don't think is massively like I don't think he's fantastic, but he was very
Mm.
good he was good for Chelsea. So you're letting players go. You're letting players from Cobham go. They let Billy Gilmore go. They let players like
Yeah.
Ian Maatson, who was just in a Champions League final. That's one player that I think Chelsea should have kept. Because what do you do with Chilwell if he's out? What are they going to do with Cucurella? Cucurella has improved a lot. I think Cucurella is a good player. But what are Chelsea going to do now?
I think they're a mess,
They have
literally.
a lot.
Like,
They have
there's
a lot
no.
trust me, I feel bad. I grew up with the United and Chelsea Premier League title race. I watched the title race. My first season as a United fan was when Chelsea beat us to the title. And still the United Chelsea rivalry it wasn't a massive rivalry, but at the same time it was a competition that
Mm.
people don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
And I miss those days. I
Mm.
really, really miss those days.
I think I remember, like, for me growing up, when I started watching Arsenal like around 2015, like 2014, and Chelsea were like that team that would win all of that stuff, like the leagues. Like, I know a few seasons back they won the Champions League as well. So you look at them right now. It's for me. Sorry to Chelsea fans are watching this, but I hated Chelsea growing up. But I think, not long ago, Arsenal were a team that I felt like we didn't have a direction. I felt like I honestly didn't think we would get out of the place we were in, especially during lockdown. I know we did win an FA Cup, but in a way, a bit like United, it's sort of papered over some cracks and made,
Hey,
your team look better than what you're doing. But at the same time, like we've mentioned before, top four, yes, you might be the best top four, like the best four teams in the league at the moment, but it's not a trophy. So I'd
not true.
much rather win anything than, I mean, for Arsenal last season, we came second and I felt we were the better team, through the
We,
season, but City, had it better than us. But
yeah,
I would have
that,
loved to have won an FA Cup last season or anything like silverware.
and trust me, I was one of those people who really wanted Arsenal to win the league because
Mm.
I've been wanting Arsenal to win the league for 2 years in a row now. Obviously, with the Manchester City
Yeah.
thing, people be like, "Oh, but you're from Thailand, you don't have." It doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's Manchester City. I will always hate Manchester City for
Yeah.
I admire what they're doing as a football club. I admire their elite standards and everything, but I don't like them. And
Mm.
also, um, Arsenal for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would much rather win the FA Cup than win nothing at all.
Yeah.
And because a lot of Arsenal fans last season were telling United fans, you shouldn't be celebrating the FA Cup. You finished eighth. Well, the thing is, we won a trophy. And a lot of Arsenal fans undermine the League Cup and the FA Cup as well. The
Yeah, I
League Cup,
agree. Yeah, I
the
love.
League Cup, the League Cup, you haven't won for 30 years now, and I think that's where Arsenal need to start taking the cup seriously. Because if you go out another season without winning anything again, then players gonna be like, what am I doing here? I want to go win
Yeah, they'll
trophies.
want to win things with like City
Yeah,
or Madrid
winning
or whoever.
winning is very important in football. Like the aim of sport for me is to win
Yeah.
trophies. It doesn't matter where you're. Wigan Athletic in 2013 won the FA Cup, but they got relegated. Yes, they had a successful season, but they got relegated. At the
Mm.
same time, they would much rather happily win the FA Cup. They'll take the
Mm.
FA Cup. So
Yeah.
you need that type of you need to have that winning mentality in your team because you can't keep bottling it every season.
Yeah.
And this is from somebody who admires this Arsenal team so much. I don't have hatred for Arsenal like that. I
Yeah.
don't like Arsenal. I don't hate Arsenal. I admire what Arsenal are doing as a football club, but they need to start winning some trophies before they can give the big talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
And
think,
just
yeah, we've
yeah,
got to.
sorry, continue. What were you saying?
No, yeah, I think next season, I feel excited about, watching Arsenal and, everything with the players that we've got. It's just like, I feel positive about everything. But honestly, right now, I just feel like we've got to win the league. Like, I think if we came like second again and won an FA Cup, I'd be happy with the FA Cup. But
That's a good season because you
yeah,
won a trophy.
yeah, I just think for me though, like we're getting so close to winning the league, and I know when you're competing with Man City, you have to be perfect. You've
Yeah,
got to win
because
so many games. Yeah,
people are nowadays saying we need to wait for Pep to leave to win stuff. We just beat Pep in a final, so I'm not trying to
yeah, it's
flex.
possible
I'm not
to
trying
do it.
to flex
Yeah,
about this. But what I'm trying to say is that the excuse about Pep being here is not an excuse. Liverpool won a league title while Pep was here. Liverpool won a
mm,
Champions League while Pep was here. Chelsea won a Champions League against Pep Guardiola as well. Antonio Conte won against Pep Guardiola. So I'm just saying Pep Guardiola shouldn't be the reason or shouldn't be the boundary as to what
yeah,
clubs are not able to win. It should be the clubs aiming higher. And I just wanted to reply to this comment early in the chat. Uh, yes, big up to Nicholas though. In terms of experience, the thing is, yeah, Casemiro is five-time Champions League winner. So experience, yeah, this is the comment here. This the the five-time Champions League winning mentality is what
mm,
I want in my football club. Ericsson, I like. He's a decent player,
yeah,
but the experience that Ericsson has does not compare to Casemiro. Casemiro has played alongside one of the greatest Madrid teams in history of football, probably the greatest teams in the history of football. He's been a part of the most successful teams in the history of football. To win Champions Leagues with Ronaldo, obviously is my
yeah,
favorite player. Ronaldo, you've got players like Benzema,
mm,
Bale, Modric, Cruz, Ramos. You play with those players, and the experience. the experience like that he has is not comparable to Ericsson. His experience is not comparable to Casemiro. I'm sorry. I mean, but respect to you though. I mean, I hear where you're coming from, but at the same time,
Mm.
Casemiro light years clear. And yeah, and would you rather win a trophy have a weak project, or you have patience? I would rather win a trophy but have a weak project, because winning trophies is very very important.
Yeah.
Winning trophies is the most important aspect in football. It really does not matter what project or what process you are in. It's all about winning anything you possibly can. If I
Mhm.
if my team wins the League Cup but finishes 17th, I'll take that. Why? Because we won a trophy. We won a
Yeah.
trophy. I
Silverware
would
is everything.
Silverware is everything in football, and that's what we all have to take into consideration. Sorry, Sophie, you can
Yeah,
continue now.
no, I completely agree with that. I think for Arsenal we've got to win something next season. You know what? I think for me, League Cups, they're not the biggest trophy, but you look
But
back
you
on the
still won.
season. Yeah, you look back on the season and think, you know what? We might not have won the league, we might not have gone far in the Champions League, but we've won, a League Cup, we've won an FA Cup, or whatever we win. But I do think we need to I think the problem is, I do think we do take them seriously in a way, because last season we got very unlucky. We did get Liverpool quite early on. I can't remember what stage it was, but
It was
you would,
the third round, fourth round.
yeah, I think it wasn't even like the quarters yet, but
It was the third round actually. I think
yeah,
you played
and
like
yeah,
that. No,
so I think for that, obviously it was difficult. But do you know, on that game, if we would have taken our chances, we would have won that. It was just that was the sort of
yeah,
game we
it,
were. Yeah,
it was that period where Arsenal went in, like when you had that one win in
it was.
seven.
Yeah, it was
Missed
before. Yeah, it was before
the
Dubai where we just couldn't score.
the West Ham game was in between that, when you lost 2-0 at home, but you guys missed a ton of chances. And for me, I just think that period is why this is why I mentioned the Arsenal need a striker, because when you're going through a tough period and you're missing chances, this is where the 20-goal season striker comes into play, and this is where he takes things into his own hands, takes matters into his own hands. If he has to win games by individual brilliance, and you win games, it's all about the 3 points at the end of the day, and you guys need goals.
Yeah.
Goals is what everyone needs, and I think, you know what, I had to say about this for my team as well. We didn't score enough goals last season. We conceded way too many, so we need to score more goals. We need to concede less.
Mm.
And what Arsenal are doing right now is title winning mentality. However, the points that you drop in during Manchester City's run, they have the know how. And
Mm.
next season, if Arsenal bottle it again, then a lot of serious questions need to be asked.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have said about Arteta if we don't win anything next season. I think if we don't win anything next season, I would be very disappointed. I think I'd be a bit concerned because, he has been here for a while and yeah, we're doing great. We've got a great team, but we do need to start winning things.
Yeah,
If I think the problem, right, with United last season, I think you had a more successful season, but I think we had a more I think
you were
we
the
could
on the eye, I'd
yeah, we
say.
were more progressive like in the league, but I
But yeah,
think I'd pick a trophy any day really
of course,
than come
I'm
in
sure.
second, third or fourth because
Yeah,
that's what you want to win as a club. So I really hope
because
next season we can win
the
something.
thing is, top fours now celebrated too much in England for me. I think that's what's lowering the level of English football. It's what's lowering the standard of
Mm,
English football, because you don't see teams in La Liga celebrating that they got Champions League football. Look at Girona. Girona just got Champions League football after after Manchester City owners partly bought them or something, and they sold their player. They sold Jan Kuto. Jan Kuto. They loaned in Jan Kuto and they sent it back to Man City. They sold Savio. Savio was at Troyes, but at the same time, you've got players that they have a mentality. You see Real Madrid, for example. Look at Real
mm.
Madrid. For me, the most elite club in football. Like they're levels above anybody. Like you just cannot compare yourself to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The standard that they have of winning should be the bar that everybody sets for themselves. Because let's not forget what Arsenal moved out of hybrid to compete against. They
Yeah.
moved out of hybrid to compete against the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern, Barcelona. You moved out Ashburton Army or someone that
Yeah.
brought you out of the that you were promised that you were going to be competing against the likes of those clubs. Every football club should be competing like that. Manchester City are on that trajectory right now. That's why they just won a treble. That's why they've just won trophy after trophy after trophy. And for me, I want my club to be on that trajectory as well. I want my club to be at the very top because why? Football is about winning,
Yeah.
right? And La Liga has a lot of clubs who don't accept like nobody accepts failure. Like you've got a lot of leagues outside of England who don't celebrate top four. They don't
Mm.
celebrate getting Champions League because it's not a trophy. So the trophies are
Yeah.
the most important aspect. When you pick up the trophies, then you then celebrate that. All right,
Mm.
on to the next, so on and so forth. No one, no one should be gassing a position finish and be like, "Oh, it's progress." But for me, picking up trophies is progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finishing finishing third and then second, like how United did under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think that's progress because third and second is pretty much the same thing. Like you're getting Champions League football, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I do agree with that. And I think next season, I think both teams, including like both of us, have got to, I think you've just got to keep winning that silverware. Hopefully, in the league, you can be more consistent because I think the way you played against Man City in that cup final, like if you did that more often,
Yeah,
I think next season, I think realistically, if you can try and get top four, but I also think you should always aim to do win every game
yeah.
and all of that. But I think with Arsenal and Man City, I think I expect us both to be how we usually are, and Liverpool as well in the mix with their new
Liverpool,
manager.
Liverpool in a massive rebuild right now. They've
Yeah,
got a lot.
so their season, they could either do really well or they could maybe, you never know, they could not even get top four. It's going to be interesting,
The,
definitely.
the thing is, because the thing is right. The for me the cup final was where I think the players turned up to the occasion. Because you look at the Coventry game, we should have lost that game. Any
Yeah, I
United
remember watching that. Yeah,
United any United fan coming to tell me that we deserve to win that game, you were watching how do you say it? You're watching something else. You're just not watching football.
yeah,
United, there's no way United should have been in the FA Cup final. We should not have been in the FA Cup final. But the players then turned up to the occasion. Like
yeah,
Liverpool, for example, the Amad Diallo goal was something I always cherish because you always want to beat your rivals and send them home in a cup game like that, in a thrilling cup game. And when you win it, and when you win the FA Cup against your other rivals like Manchester City, for example, you turn up on the occasion. But then, where was that all season? That's my only
mm,
question. Because
yeah. It's probably a
I,
bit frustrating that you weren't
yeah,
able to do it more often.
because I thought we get better as well. I thought, what, getting Champions League means you sign better players. You don't drop. But at the same time, I feel like United, whenever we're in the Europa League, we always sign better players than when we're in the Champions League. I just don't know what it is. For some reason, we always sign better players when we're in the Europa League. I
Yeah,
don't know why, but that shouldn't be the case. If you
yeah,
win the if you get back into the Champions League, means you've got to sign much better players because qualifying for the Champions League is not the be all end all. If you know what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think next season as well, in the other competitions, Champions League, Europa League. I think the Europa League's like the right thing for your club, but right now, I think you could probably win it next season if you really wanted to. I think for us, I don't expect us to win it, but I think we should go and try and win the Champions League. I hope we
Champions League
can.
again.
Yeah, I think Madrid. I love watching them. I've always loved watching them growing up, but I think Man City, are great and they're difficult to beat, but I think Madrid would be the team to beat if we came
Madrid,
up.
Madrid are a club that nobody can hate. Like they're just that club. Like they
Yeah, they've
obviously
always been good. Yeah.
and any Manchester United and Real Madrid have a very very good relationship as well because obviously the Munich air disaster with Real Madrid decided to help
Mm,
us. when we were on the brink of, for example, extinction. Not extinction, but I'm sorry, we were on the brink of just taking it
Yeah.
all apart, and the Real Madrid just came in and helped us. They offered us a lot of things, so I always hold Real Madrid close to my heart. Like I'll never ever
Yeah.
hate. I'll never hate Real Madrid. It's just people should be aspire to be like Real Madrid.
As
They
a
should
club, yeah.
they should be able to want to compete against Real Madrid. They should be want to be better than Real Madrid. No one's gonna ever win more Champions Leagues than Real Madrid. But at the same time, you're gonna have to start competing against them, because look at the players that they've just signed. The day after winning the Champions League, they signed Kylian Mbappe on a free. Like
I know, that's
just,
ridiculous. Like,
just
yeah.
level, like you just that's elite level standards. Like that's elite level like football club. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to want to compete. Like, you want to compete against Real Madrid, because that team is just gonna dominate football for years. And when or if they get players like Trent, Alfonso Davies, Musiala, for example, I'm giving an example. It's curtains. Like it's
Yeah.
curtains for
It's
football.
always, yeah, big up to everyone in the chat as well. Yeah, they're definitely difficult to play against, but yeah, I'm really excited to see next season. I think it's going to be really good to do that. But I also wanted to thank you as well for coming on, because
No, anytime. Thank you so
I've
much.
really enjoyed this. Like, we'll definitely
Yeah,
do this again. But to those that, I know you've got your own channel. I know you've not really done any videos yet, but do you want to just tell people a bit about where they can find you on social media as well, so they can give you a follow?
yeah. Aekavin7 on Instagram. I'll be keeping you guys posted about my next video. I've been in the process of editing a vlog, but the thing is, I obviously, you have to go through your mistakes. You have to get over your
Yeah, it's
mistakes.
hard work. Yeah.
Editing is a bit of tough work, but at the same time, you'll get there at the end of the day. And I think, you know what, so I have to say, well done for what you're doing on your channel. Obviously, you've got big names on your channel, and I must say, good job, good work, and keep it up, because definitely we'll be doing a show again really, really soon. We'll have to be doing a show again soon.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on again. And like,
The Jesus goal was offside this morning. I just have to
do you
say.
know what I saw? Do you know, obviously, it looked like a really tight decision. Like,
Yeah.
I
No, the
mean,
Jesus. It wasn't actually the pass. It was actually the
him,
pass.
yeah, him.
It was Jesus himself offside. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll definitely come back on again for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll definitely do some more shows as well, because I know as well. I'm excited to see how you get on in the Community Shield. I know the season will be starting soon, and I'm excited for the season. It's going to be
we
good.
pretty much,
It'll be
we pretty much got the season twice.
yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say big up as well to these comments as well. It was cool to listen to this talk, different clubs with the same passion. Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's always nice to
Very,
chat to
very up,
different fans from different clubs, and
big up,
yeah,
big up,
yeah,
big up,
big up.
big up everyone in the chat. Thank you for sharing all the love, because I really get this much love. But yeah, big up to India Pakdi. That's my pal right there.
I'll big up yourself. Yeah, big up to
Big,
everyone
big
that
up
has
to
sent
everyone.
us the love and joined this chat. It's
And
been really fun.
yeah, Victor, you always worry about United when they face small teams they're expected to beat. That's the thing. It's like whenever you face a small clubs, you're like, oh, you're like, oh no. But when you face the big clubs, you're like more pumped. You're like more confident.
Yeah,
Big up.
you get yeah, definitely. Yeah, big up everyone as well that has
Big
tuned
up.
in. It's been really lovely to chat with you all as well. And please don't forget to like this video if you are still watching. Big up Harry as well. Yeah, big up everyone. Thank you so much. Please do hit the like button on this as well. Do subscribe, and we'll definitely do another one of these videos, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And big up Wookie Cookie, who does watch most of my videos. So thank you again. And yeah, thank you all so much. We do really appreciate your kind words of support. And yeah, I will see you on my next video, and hope you all have a lovely evening. Bye, guys.